Welcome to our Farmhouse Italia mini-series, where we're taking you behind the scenes of our Italian adventure and answering some of the most common questions we get asked. This is a 4-part series, and we will share with you our why for moving to Italy, how we chose Piemonte as our region to live, and why we are searching for an abandoned farmhouse. Welcome to our channel. We're Fee and Owen, a couple from Australia who decide to follow our hearts and start a new life in beautiful Piemonte, Italy. This channel documents our incredible adventure and shares with you our dream of renovating a farmhouse, embracing simple pleasures, and reconnecting with our roots.
Hey everyone, we're Fee and Owen, and if you've been following along, you'll know we've been in Italy now for 3 months, living out our dream of restoring a beautiful farmhouse.
Yep. Yeah, we've shared bits and pieces of our journey with you, but today we thought it was time to properly introduce ourselves, especially for those of you that haven't met us before.
Yeah, and we've had quite a few questions from friends and family and from you, so we thought we'd answer a couple of those most common questions today. But first off, we'd really like to thank our generous friends David and Mary for sharing their beautiful winery here today, Tenuta Il Finale, with us. It's the perfect backdrop in Castelloli di Lanze, don't know if I've said that right, which is in Piemonte. We feel very fortunate to be in this stunning part of the country, which is where our adventure began a few months ago. And I think it's interesting probably to kickstart our chat off today by mentioning the highlight of the past few months for us has been the people we've met along the way. People are super curious and interested in our story, which has been really inspiring for us and actually quite fun to see people's first reactions. I mean, most people, well, especially Aussies, hear about our Italian venture and their reaction is usually something like, wow, what a dream, you're living a dream.
Yeah, but when we talk to Italians about it, they're like, are you mad? It's funny how different perspectives can be, right?
Yeah, I think it's all about where you feel most comfortable. I mean, Australians just see Italy as this dreamy, magical escape. But here in Italy, people hear what we're doing and they think we're crazy for leaving comfortable Australia for something so unknown.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We're constantly learning that the grass always seems to be greener on the other side. But at the end of the day, we tried to do something new, which took some courage to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of courage for us to do this, and that's what we're trying to do, something different, and we're trying to chase our dreams by making Italy our home, and we want to share it all with you. So we are super excited today to dive in and tell you more about us and what brought us to this incredible life-changing adventure.
Yeah, so I was born and I grew up in sunny England. So, well, I used to be fully European until, well, we won't mention the B word here.
I kind of think you're still technically European. Oh, I don't know. Well, but as for me, I'm Australian. Well, I was born in Australia, but my family's all Italian. My parents are both from Italy, and I grew up listening to these wonderful stories of this beautiful country. My Italian grandparents on my mum's side also migrated to Perth, so I was raised with an Italian cultural upbringing.
Yeah, it's funny how our roots played such a big role in this whole adventure. For me, living back in Europe feels like coming home. There's something quite familiar about Italy, even though my roots are English. And when we were travelled here in 2008, before we got married, I connected with it, with you, and we knew we could make it home one day.
Yeah, absolutely. We just loved it. And I mean, we love it every more, even now. And we knew that we would try and move here one day, but it was all about timing for us, especially with our careers and lining our careers up. But we're here now.
Yeah, and then let's not forget the family. You know, my family are in the UK, and Fee's, got a huge family here in Italy, and we're still getting to know them. And there's lots we haven't met.
There's lots of cousins. We are so lucky to have such a big family here, and they've been so welcoming, haven't they?
Yeah.
So it's been amazing to reconnect with them and actually meet new ones. But roots have definitely played a big role in why we're here. But we did have to think about where and what we valued in life to figure out where to focus our search actually, because Italy is a big country and each region is quite different to the next. So the questions we will cover off today are why we left Australia to live on the other side of the world, how we chose the region that we've been searching for in Italy, and why an abandoned farmhouse, which is actually a big one, which I'll cover off a little bit now. We usually get kind of mixed reactions when we say we're searching for an abandoned farmhouse. There's so many forgotten beauties here in Italy, which for so many different reasons, there's all these abandoned farmhouses, which is probably a whole another YouTube episode. But for us, it stemmed from our recent experiences with building in Perth.
Yeah. Well, we had recently built a new home in Perth, and that was our second new build together, in which we realised we actually enjoyed the process of creating spaces for us to live. We enjoyed the design through to the construction. There's something magical about seeing all your thousands of decisions come together to create a beautiful space. But even more importantly, we reflected on what home truly means to us. We thought about the things we valued in our previous homes, what worked, what didn't, how we wanted to craft a space where we could both feel grounded and inspired. Now, here's the thing, creating a home isn't just about picking a place on the map. It's about understanding the environment, the community, and the kind of life we want to build. We based our decisions on a few elements that felt essential to us, elements that were as much about the physical space as they were about the emotional space we needed to thrive.
Yeah, so we started by viewing thousands, and I mean thousands of homes online, abandoned farmhouses online, over about a 9-month period. And we were able to come up with a list of only 20 to view once we arrived here in Italy. But our criteria, which we will go into more in this chat, was a lot more about the lifestyle we wanted to create through the space rather than the specifics of the farmhouse itself. I think as we've been here, seeing the houses, we've picked up on some of the elements that we really like, because our style is soft minimalist. And we are really trying now to incorporate some of the Italian features into our future farmhouse, such as terracotta floors, wooden beams, and beautiful Italian arches.
So our story and the reason we're on this adventure is deeply tied to our mindset and personal growth. Life as we know it is full of ups and downs, and we've had our fair share of challenges. But sometimes it takes major disruption to really make you sit back, take a breath, and evaluate what truly is important to you.
Yeah. For us, our lives were turned upside down. It was quite sudden. We thought things were certain and then they weren't. And yeah, it was tough. But as with most tough times, there's often a silver lining. And that disruption forced us to stop, reflect, and really think deeply about the direction we wanted to take.
Yeah. It made us realise that while life can be unpredictable, the beauty comes in how we respond to it. We had to reimagine what our life could look like, and the process of reevaluating everything was actually one of the best things that could have happened to us. It was in those quiet moments of contemplation that we realised we wanted to chase our dreams and we wanted to do it with intention. And so this adventure, this journey was born from that decision. It's not just about finding a place to live, but also creating the life that aligns with who we are, where we're headed, and the things we truly value.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time together strategizing about our future. And when I say strategizing, I mean a lot of deep, heartfelt conversations, usually with flip charts, pens, and a lot of tea. It might sound a bit quirky, but we've really enjoyed taking the time to map out what's important to us. It's been a process of reflecting on how we want to live, how we want to connect with the world, and what kind of impact we want to have, not just for ourselves, but for our community and for our family as well. We've actually asked ourselves a lot of hard questions, some of them being, how do we show up for each other? How do we want to make a difference in the lives of those around us? And what legacy do we want to create? These conversations have been super valuable because they've given us a clear vision for our future. We feel as if we're not just moving forward with blind faith, but we're actually moving forward now with intention and purpose. So from these conversations, we were able to form a little motto that we have, or I guess maybe a mantra, which is reimagine what you see every day, which is about finding joy in the ordinary. And we combine this with our goals to embrace slow living and be present with the world around us. We kind of formed 3 key focus areas for our life values. Our first life value is freedom. And freedom means to us the ability to choose how we use our time. It's about living life on our terms and seeing every day as an opportunity to experience and grow, whether it be at home, in the local community, or away traveling. The second value that we have is connect. This is about building relationships with aligned values. It's about being part of something that's bigger than ourselves, and it's about connecting with each other and the world around us. Our third value is community. And this is a focus that we've talked about a lot over the years. We really wish to be part of something in our new home that we could find a community. We would love to help to be advocates or champions of a local area over here in ways that help sustainability and complement the people and the land, which help keep the traditions of the region alive.
Yeah, so how do we narrow down Italy's 20 regions to just 3 and ultimately land on Piemonte for our dream farmhouse? It was a bit daunting to try and narrow down the regions, but based on a few key elements, we ended up with 3 regions being Piemonte, Umbria and Marche. And then ultimately we needed to decide on what type of home we wanted to create in these areas, taking into consideration the local traditions. So here's how we cracked the code. So family roots, Fee's Italian roots played a huge role. Her father is from Bossolosco in Piemonte and her mother from Crispiano in Puglia. 2 regions at the opposite end of the country. So straight away we were dealing with a north-south divide. Then came health. Fee needs some ongoing high quality healthcare, and with specialists in cities like Turin, Milan, Florence and Rome, we focused our search north of Rome, which sadly ruled out Puglia, but definitely a vacation spot in 2025 to go and see that family. Climate, a gentler climate was a must. We drew a line across the map from Turin to below Milan, sticking to areas with milder weather, but still within easy reach of the mountains. Budget, research into building construction costs per square metre ruled out 3 regions that are very popular with the overseas investment and the wealthy, leaving us with Piemonte, Umbria and Marche as our final contenders. These 3 regions form the basis of our property search that started in early 2024 and shaped our first 2 months of travel. So then came the community and connection. This one came down to feeling. We spent time in each of the regions, soaking in the vibe, watching how people lived, explored the food, culture and the architecture. Piemonte just felt like home, with its welcoming energy. Unfortunately, Umbria was a bit too remote for us, and then Marche just had more of a vacation feel. So in the end, all signs have pointed to Piemonte, a perfect blend of family ties, practicality, and that indescribable sense of belonging. So with our regions narrowed down, it was time to dream big and imagine the perfect farmhouse in Italy and the life we want to build around us. Here's what we imagined. A renovation project. We're looking for a structurally sound farmhouse, a blank canvas where we could bring our design philosophies to life. The goal is to create something uniquely ours while minimizing material waste. The setting, a rural haven with space to breathe, but not so remote we feel cut off. Think rolling hills, lush greenery, and the sweeping views over agricultural land. A place that feeds the soul every time you look out the window. A thriving community. We want to be part of a community where there's room to grow, a place where we can connect, contribute, and even champion local life. Then the location. Community and connection were non-negotiables, so we set a clear criteria for the location even before arriving in Italy, and these actually held true throughout our travels. So the framework we put in place was that we wanted to be around 10 minutes to local village life. Markets, cafes, sports facilities, restaurants, where we could immerse ourselves in the daily life and support the local community. Then around 15 minutes to a major road for easy access to cities, the coast and the mountains. And then finally 30 minutes to the larger towns with those essential services that we might need once or twice a month. Then finally on the criteria, we want to obviously make sure we're connected to the wider Italy and Europe. So being 90 minutes to an international rail hub or airport really keeps Europe within easy reach. This vision became the blueprint for finding our dream farmhouse, perfectly blending practicality, beauty, and our desire for a connected, vibrant life in Italy.
So that's a lot to go through today, and we've been loving chatting with you. But I guess to wrap it up, we want to say, what have we learned so far? Our learning actually probably started a long time ago, not just in these past few months. It began when we first came here together as a couple, but also in our own individual lives. It's been a continuous process of discovering what we truly value, what brings us joy, and how we want to connect with the world. These are the questions that have shaped our path. But on a very simple level, the biggest thing we've learned is that Piemonte is the region for us. We feel just so at home here, both physically and emotionally. There's just something about this place that pulls on our heartstrings, and there's been no other region that has made us feel the way that Piemonte does. So it's just so comforting and familiar. It's like this is where we're always meant to be. But honestly, our biggest learning is this adventure isn't about finding the perfect farmhouse or the beautiful landscape. What we've come to realize is that this is about living life differently. It's about being more connected, more present, and more intentional in how we live. It's about being part of something that's bigger than ourselves. For us, it's not about us as individuals anymore, about chasing personal gains. It's about asking, how do we show up and contribute? How do we help to create a better place? Even if that means just doing something little in the village that we're living in, making it a bit kinder and a bit more compassionate. For us, this is about building a life where we share more, where we value human connection more, and where we're living in a way that honours the land, the people around us, and the community.
And yes, as we've already mentioned, out of the three regions, we have decided to call Piemonte home. There's so much that feels familiar about Piemonte that even when we were in other regions, we would refer to it as back home. This is the only region that we connected with on so many levels. The landscape, the food, the wine, the hilltop villages, the people and the way of life with weekly markets and Sunday traditions. It's also the little things like the ringing of church bells, which we actually missed that when we were in places that didn't have it. It's my morning alarm clock, it's the lunchtime and the dinner time bell. We love this secret gem of Italy.
And to wrap it all up completely, we would love to say that we're surprised we bought a farmhouse But no, unfortunately, we can't say that. We are still searching. We did fall in love with Colosso here in Piemonte with all its broken decay. But unfortunately, sometimes you have to listen to your heads and walk away, even if a little brokenhearted. So yeah, with heavy hearts, we have moved on from Colosso and we are back on the search. But who knows what the new year will bring. So please stay tuned to 2025.
Yeah, and again, a big thank you to our generous friends David and Mary from Tenuta Il Finale Wines for providing the stunning location for our shoot today. Wineries are magical places all year round. Even you can see today, it's beautiful sunshine in December. It's such an interesting place to visit while traveling through this wine region in Piemonte. But most of all, thank you for sharing in our epic Italian adventures. Your support means the world to us as we enjoy sharing our story with you. If you have any questions about Italy, farmhouses, or just anything you're interested in knowing, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. So for now, it's a wrap for us. We wish you a buon Capodanno, and we will see you in 2025 for more Farmhouse Italia. Ciao for
Ciao for
now.
now.